That's my voice, Andy.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit OK on my side. That's
Okay,
your
cool.
voice. Yeah.
Recording in progress. Hi everybody. My name's Billy Nord. I'm running for the U.S. Senate on the Democratic ticket out of Minnesota. I'll be on the primary ballot August 11th, 2026. So please consider voting for me. I'm running against two opponents, Angie Craig, Congresswoman from Minnesota, and Peggy Flanagan, the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota. Both have been in politics way too long.
Right.
Both are taking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of money, donations for what exactly? I don't have any idea. I'm taking $0
And
for
you're not taking any money, no
I'm
matter
not
how it comes in.
I'm not taking any money because at this point no one has given me a legitimate reason to why campaigns need money to
Yeah.
run. Besides like it costs $400 to file to run for the seat.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. Yeah. So, I mean, with the power of social media and the cost of maybe a tank of gas to go meet people
Right.
at a show or at a farmer's market, where does the money go? What is the money for, Andy?
Well,
Oh,
it's for
th
meals and thing. It's for influence. I'm sorry, you were about to deliver something there, and I blew it.
I think I was gonna introduce you. I haven't
Oh, that's
introduced
good.
you yet. Yeah,
Yeah,
ladies and
you should
gentlemen.
because people will not. I will tell you, they will not know who I am,
Oh,
and now they will be scrambling for a Google machine.
I'm going for the majority report crowd right now. That's my goal. I want the majority report gang. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy
from the ma-
Kindler.
from the majority report. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Like I'm just going to ask you a question, Billy. Are you
Yes.
also, as a sideline? I'm not accusing you of anything. Are you also selling guitars as a sideline? Is this some kind of a ruse,
I don't know what
as
you're
Trump
talking
would
about.
say? Oh, okay. Then you don't know what I'm talking about. All right.
Some product placement. No, these
I
are
How come
all
I don't have those guitars? But why should I have them? They're your guitars.
I could send you one. These are actually, growing up, how I'm sure you grew up the same way as I did. We were kind of strapped for cash, and we didn't get much growing up. Many things we would ask for. We would get like the off-brand sneakers, the off-brand toys.
Right. I thought you meant grow up like you did. I have low self-esteem. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Well, I mean, I'm in the same boat with that one.
That goes
Um,
without saying.
yeah. So like, when you grow up, you become an adult. The things that you were told you couldn't have as a kid because your parents were broke, you
Right.
tend to gravitate towards. These are basically like Bobo versions of the things that I actually want. These are all from China. These are all like bootleg guitars. I paid $100 for, just because I wanted to feel like I had the things that I wanted
That's
growing
pretty
up.
cool because I thought I was going to ask you if the 335 where you got a Fender jazz bass over there. Where you
What?
got a
Andy.
I'm a former musician. So I still play, but no one listens. So my favorite thing is to do jokes about equipment that was around when I was in cover bands in
Oh
the
my
80s. What do you got?
gosh.
And references you won't even know. What do you got? A Barkus Berry preamp? What do you
It's
got over there?
It is Barkus Berry. It's Chuck Berry's sister. She did a preamp line. Do you have instruments now? Do you
I
play
do. I
at
have
home?
I still well my ex-girlfriend
Oh,
because we're not going out anymore and I'm married. So stop it, Billy. Just
I
cut it out,
your wife
okay?
is lovely. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And I had an Ibanez Les Paul copy, which was a brilliantly great guitar, even though they copied
Hmm.
Gibson. She has that, and I have a Guild D50, and I have a Fender Strat that I
Oh,
never really got to learn how to play. Like, there's nothing like the Les Paul feeling, even if it's Japanese Ibanez. But yes,
yeah.
I still have and that I used to have my own. I got into cover bands. You know why? I had
Why?
my own PA. Had my own
Oh,
Shure Vocal Master PA.
that's an expensive tool to have when you're in a band. So the bands found you because you had your own PA, so they recruited you just to be in the band to use your PA to do.
Same reason why Tony Camacho in New York used me because I had my parents' car and I could drive people to different gigs. So
I thought
I was that guy.
I thought you were gonna say Tony Hinchcliffe used you.
Oh my God! Now this Tony Hinchcliffe, I hope he's not running for anything. But answer this to me. Answer me this, Mister Billy.
Please.
Why does a man like John Stewart say that Tony Hinchcliffe was just doing his job? This is the Jon Stewart who we came to love at some point, many,
Right.
many years ago, and now he's turned into a both-siding kind of a guy.
You
But
know,
that's not what this is about. But you can tell me.
no. From I mean, my opinion is just John Stewart seems to be the person that just expresses how he feels that day. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, there's
Yes.
no real consistency. It's let's fight for the underdog that day, but
Right.
then that underdog will be somebody I'm going to be fighting against tomorrow.
Yeah,
Um,
and when he did the thing with the people from the veterans, that was fantastic.
yeah,
So upset about it and all this kind of stuff. Incredible. But when he marched on Washington,
yes,
I don't know if you remember that.
I
And this
do.
shouldn't turn into a old man's memory lane. But
Let's
when
not
he
get
marched on
political.
Washington, yes. So now what's okay? So how can I help on a? I can't do door knocking. I
No,
hope you know that.
I despise door knocking, my friend. I despise
Is
door
that true?
knocking. Yes, I mean, you know how it is. You don't want people knocking on your door in the middle of the day to
I was a
interrupt.
door to door. I'm not kidding, Billy. Although sometimes when I kid, people don't know. I was a door to door salesman
Hmm.
for 2 years in Los Angeles, 1979 and 1980. And I came up with one joke that never got a laugh. He said, I sold door to door for 2 years, and so I learned this valuable lesson. People don't like to be disturbed at home. That's exactly
Yes.
right. But I thought you
Yes.
have to door knock. I thought this was like, also, I don't want to get shot when people are, they don't
People are
want you
shooting,
at the door.
right? Yeah. So that is the misconception I'm trying to break. So I'm trying to break the misconception of you need a shit ton of money to run for office,
Yes.
and also you need to do a shit ton of door knocking and texting people
Yes.
to win to get your name out there. I mean, there's a reason why it's called a stump speech, right? Because people did speeches on stumps when running for office,
You mean on actual tree stumps?
on tree stumps. Yes.
Whoa.
You
How
believe
come
it?
you? Oh my God. This is why you should be elected right now. Who has a deep knowledge of the history of stumps? And so, how about on something corner? What was Speaker's Corner? Well, I guess that was just Speaker's Corner.
Speaker's
Um,
Corner, yeah. And
that was just,
that was just where they spoke, and it was
yeah.
and it was two things meeting together to make a triangle, a
How
corner.
about soapbox? Wasn't that soapbox started from people would get on their
Soapbox.
soapbox?
They would
Get
just
off your
find a
soapbox.
they would go trash picking and find a soapbox and just pick it up and just stand on it and just start talking, man. It was
Now
free.
you Now, Billy, here's the thing I want to know, and stop, and my apologies for interrupting and for saying Billy because I can't stand. Now, Billy, are you going to be able to debate these people, or are they running from you?
So they are it's still according to the general consensus, it's still a two-way race because I'm the person not being taken seriously, really, because of, my approach of not taking donations and not being from the world of politics.
Right.
So as far as a debate, that would be the DFL endorsement process. The Democratic Party in Minnesota is called the
Oh
DFL.
yeah, yeah. It sounds
So
bad. No, first let me say before we go any further, I
yeah,
will separate myself from Billy in the fact that I am one of the few proud, well, not so proud, but I am a member of the Democratic Party
same
for
here.
good or ill.
Same here. Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I wanted to ask about that too. But as far as the debate and all that shit, they're seeking the endorsement. My opponents are seeking the endorsement of the DFL, the Democratic Party, state party here in Minnesota. I'm not going to seek the endorsement. I
Right.
don't like how they operate. They just pulled like an endorsement from one of the mayoral candidates here in Minneapolis. It was just they're very questionable. It's like this. It feels like a sort of a corporate vibe, and I'm not into it. I just want to speak to voters and represent Minnesotans, not a corporation like the DFL. So I'm not
Right.
going to go through the whole debate stuff.
Good. Good. I was
Yeah,
wondering, I was
not into that.
concerned, and was starting to write some we can. I want you to do this when you debate though. You don't point.
Right,
You never point. Clinton came up with I, we,
right.
you, like that.
Which is like that's such a like that probably was focus grouped. You know what I mean? Like that shit was presented like there's this finger at this point, there's 2 inches back, another inch back, another inch back. When is it less violating to have a finger pointed at you?
He actually had, people don't know this, he had a triangulation committee. Nobody
Ooh.
remembers that he had a triangle because that was his big. The thing is, I of course voted for Clinton and of course thought him being impeached was crazy. But he had these, Dick Morris. You're probably too young to remember these guys. He
Mm.
had surrounding him who were trying to get him to triangulate.
What
And
was
that's not the way
triangulate?
to go. Was
Was
that
that like is that like sort of like appealing to
the right and
every
the left?
okay, so the middle ground shit, like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
moderation. Now, can I ask, so you mentioned being you're a Democrat like myself, reluctantly. By that, do you mean that are so how do you feel about the current state of Congress right now? Are you one of the people who feel that let's just wait this out. Let's wait until the end of the Trump administration. Things will go back to normal. Or are you one of the people like myself where I feel like Congress needs to try something different, do something unconventional. A lot of Congress on the Democratic side, I feel like they're just the waited out type.
Hmm.
What's your perspective on like
Well,
the
here's
current
the
state?
thing. It's like I kind of go on an individual basis. It's like I voted for Kamala Harris. I was very excited about it. I knew the things on Israel. Obviously, I knew these were going, but I wanted, what would be worse in terms of the genocide going on, Trump or putting Kamala Harris in. But I have to say, I was disappointed when, she was interviewed, I think, by Rachel Maddow, and she wouldn't endorse Mandami. And I was like, this is not good.
Right.
This sounds like old school thinking. And the truth is, Obama did try to change the policy towards Israel. He did try to, but he wasn't successful doing it. And so, I do think, and here's the other thing. Here's the way I'm a dyed in the wool Democrat. I voted for Obama. I think he was the greatest president we had. Doesn't mean he was great. It doesn't mean he was great in all areas or anything like that, but I felt like he was a human being and he was doing the best that he could.
Right.
And so I'm not on the field that when I would say in October vote for Harris and people are saying Genocide Joe, Genocide Joe. I can't argue against Genocide Joe, except that he was a long line of politicians doing the exact same thing on Israel
Right.
all the way back. And I've been just deeply disappointed. And I don't want to bring up names because I don't want to bring up names. But like, celebrity people, comedian people who are so uh re- who are wrong on Israel, just
Yeah.
plain wrong. As my friend Ina uh says, she's a very very great what's it called, activist.
Mhm.
Nice Mangoes is the name of her website. I forgot the name of her show. Maybe it's Nice Mangoes. But she says, like, it's happening right now, the genocide. It's happening right now. How can you
Right.
deny that it's happening right now? And I find that severely disappointing. But I will say this, Billy. I think there are some great young people. I like Maxwell Frost. I like, you're not running against him, right?
No, no, not in Minnesota. He's in
Yeah,
Florida.
I knew that. I was just kidding.
Okay.
So some of these people, I think, are doing I think they're doing a really, really good job. But the what's the guy in New York who I can't the
Mhm.
Schumerization, the fact that he folded his tent and didn't even tell anybody really about it
Right.
on the thing. So yeah, I am disgusted, but I'm not. Here's the difference. I'm not the vote for Jill, and I'm saying you were this way, but I'm not for the vote for Jill Stein. I wasn't for the vote for Ralph Nader
Right.
because I think Ralph Nader. I wouldn't have voted for him head up against Gore.
Yeah.
Ralph Nader was like made it all about himself, and he had a anyway. But that's like a smaller point to say yes, things need to change. And I also don't like the David Hogg idea that all old people should
Mm.
retire.
Yeah, I think he regretted that messaging. I think he clarified that
Well, that's good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think he was just, he's I don't
I
know.
see his point because most
Yeah,
of the people over 70 are terrible. But guess what, Billy? I'm getting to that age.
so am
I
I,
don't want to
man.
be put out in the pasture.
No, no, we're not going to be. It's
Thank
about
you,
what's in
Billy.
your heart. Yes, it's about what's in your soul, your mind, your heart. I mean, what do you say? Like Bernie Sanders is somebody that should be, is he not progressive because of his age? Is he still not moving forward
Yes, he
with
is. He
most?
is. No, no, that's not what
Yeah.
I'm saying. He is progressive
You're
because of his age.
you're very pro David Hogg, I could tell. I mean, you're like you want change and you want Chuck Schumer primaried by uh
A
Sam
young
Cedar.
person, someone. Is Sam Cedar running?
No, he should though.
Oh,
He's smart, man. What you know what? I did a Google search, a YouTube search for your appearances on the Majority Report, and the last one I think I found was like 3, 4 years ago. Do you
Yes.
did you still what are you still a guest on?
I would like to be a guest on the show,
You
but
were
I have not been
fantastic.
invited on the show, Billy. I've
Are
not been invited on the show. And I think Sam knows where I live.
yeah?
He's got every one of my numbers. Now, I will say this. I don't demand to be on the show, and I understand that I am low down on the list of, in other words, it's been a very busy time period, right? So I understand that. Sometimes I worry, am I considered too centrist for the show? I don't know. I think he's just very, very busy. But it is, sometimes I do get, and you know, Billy, if you know me, I'm not a person who gets bitter or complains. That's not me.
No.
But I sometimes wonder, and I'm not certain people all the time go, when are you going back on the majority report? And occasionally I'll favorite it, but I'm not going to boycott the show. I mean, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it because it doesn't make me look good and because I actually love those people and whatever they want to do is fine with me. But yes, I'm a little bit, is the word miffed? That's what I am.
Miffed. You should be miffed. It's okay. You know what? I don't really see many. I watch almost every day when I'm working. I have it on in the background. I don't see many comedians on there anymore. I mean, I think the
Maybe
last,
that's it.
yeah, I think it's more like actual, like authors, journalists, and occasional like members of Congress. I think John Benjamin was the last comedian I'd seen on there. Regardless, you
I
need to
should be on there.
you
I think what
should
we're
be on
both
there.
saying is, and we're both saying vote for Billy Nord
Oh,
and sign the petition.
really? Do you endorse me? Janine endorsed my campaign.
I'll endorse you. Yes,
Whoa!
I know you.
Breaking news.
I know you. I know that you're a wonderful person,
Thank you, man.
and
Likewise.
I even think we had an argument once, which is indicative
I think
of
we had two, I think.
what were
One,
the arguments about.
so one, I was one online.
Yeah, and
Uh,
yeah, and let me say, was it online?
yeah.
I apologize.
No, it was
I
me.
apologize.
No, it was me. I was saying, I think I said you had posted something on Twitter, and then I think my response was like this ambiguous, in general, like rhetorical,
Right.
people reading "Don't be an asshole" or something like that. And I think you thought I was calling you an asshole.
Which happens all the time online with me, but
Oh
I'm
my
saying it has to
gosh.
be me. I'm so different. I hope to God I'm a different person now. I don't
Me
get
too.
I try not to get into these fights online, and I apologize to you because the thing about it is we were in a situation where we couldn't see each other face to face,
We couldn't.
right? But
We
we
couldn't.
solved it. We
I
cured it. Yeah.
apologize to you. I said no, I
Oh.
wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to you or something like that. And I think we squashed it. And then the thing, from my recollection, the other time was at Bobby and Emily's wedding. I think I asked too many times about your comic book, and I think you got mad, or
Oh
your
no,
graphic
no, there's
novel.
no way. That's just me. You know what you probably were sensing? My sadness about
Oh,
not writing. No, absolutely not. There was a lot of stuff going on at that wedding, and that was not one. No, that was not one of them. That was not one of the things. And I'm sorry if you remember that way because
no,
why am I so annoying?
you're not. Why am I so no? What are the two times you're thinking about that we've got into
No,
arguments?
just the
Just
one. And I couldn't even remember the subject matter.
really?
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was the thing
gosh.
online about the
The asshole
whatever
thing.
it was. Yeah, and I have no
Oh,
memory of it because I always feel bad in retrospect, especially when it's people that you love. So, I mean, I'm not saying
I
that
love
we're.
you too.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you. I'm saying sometimes people say you shouldn't say you love someone's, but I do love you, and
Oh,
and in this world right now, and if you don't even want to use my endorsement because
I'll
you
use
want to
it.
keep Janine's up, but keep me down the first five list. Am
Okay.
I the second person who
Uh,
has?
well, I think the first person was Janine. The second was Michael Shannon. Third was
Oh,
Kevin Corrigan. Uh,
yes,
fourth was Dave Hill. I think
Dave Hill.
Dave Hill. I think Pat
Is Kevin
Healy.
Corrigan the Smashing Pumpkins guy?
No, that's Billy.
Now he's has problems, right?
He's appealing to somebody out there, some audience.
Like the Morrissey, and then when Morris, what is your theory about what happens to people like Morrissey, who I was felt guilty eating meat for 5 years
Right.
after his song,
Mm.
and then all of a sudden he turns. And same thing with Van Morrison, who wasn't ever necessarily a great activist, but it's so weird to see people. It's interesting to me. It's like people's hatred of Obama. I feel like is very, there's a racist part, a really racist part to that.
I agree.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
do understand people who felt he didn't do enough or whatever it was, but yeah.
Honestly, I think the pandemic really fucked a lot of people up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people just went into like weird isolation. Even people like Morrissey and people like you know, geez, like some of our heroes, man. I mean, the list goes on of people who just like I mean, some of our neighbors, some of our friends, that pandemic really changed the world as we know it. I mean, and
Well,
that
if you're
that
talking about Jimmy Dore, what, maybe you don't know him. Well,
I
you do
know.
know. Of course you
Was
know
he your
him.
friend? Was he your friend
He
back in
was a friend of mine back in the day because he was a nice gentleman.
yeah, a special
And
thing days, back
a
in those
special thing
special thing
days. He was a
days.
nice gentleman, but now I see that there were always problems with him. First of all, if you think you should be the next Johnny Carson or the next great whatever, and it
Yeah,
didn't happen for you, you could be bitter. But he shouldn't have been. That wasn't his. He sadly, Billy, and I would only say this in a situation where I feel so negatively about somebody. For whatever reason, he didn't connect with his comedy. All right, he
hmm
did sometimes, and sometimes he didn't. And so he's very angry and bitter about that. I think, but the to be able to actually know that you're walking around, and people have died. They have died
Have
because
died.
they've listened to his show.
Right.
You know, it's like that. Those things are to me sad. I love Frank Conniff because he goes after these.
I
You
love
know,
him.
Frank.
I think he actually does. Frank live in Minnesota, or am I thinking of one of the other?
No, he did. He is. He lived. He lived in Minnesota for many many
I
years.
think he's back. I
Yeah,
think
you
he's
should have
here.
him. You should bring him on because
Oh,
he
I would
would
love him.
endorse you, and he's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, can I have? Do you have his email?
I will
Can
do
you
that for you. Yes.
jingle it my
Well, let me
way?
see. I think I have his. Yes, I will do it. I will
Thank
do
you.
it proudly
I would accept it proudly. Now,
with some kind of a ceremony of some type. Or
I'll take my shirt off. I mean, like I
okay,
talked
that's
about
great.
earlier. Can I ask what do you see happening with the midterms? Do you see it goes back and forth based on, this whole gerrymandering thing that this obviously like if the Trump administration and the GOP had this giant mandate that they were bragging about, they wouldn't be trying to gerrymander across the country for more House
You mean
seats
except by whether they win by 1.5% or
by
something like
one
that?
and a half percent. What do you feel is going to happen this next year as far as the Democrats regaining majority in the House or the Senate? What's your perspective?
You know, the thing about it is that, and I am not Kreskin, who probably is too old a reference for people now.
I know Kreskin.
Yeah, I am not a good. I am very hesitant to say anything because I did not think that Trump was going to beat Hillary. Of course, James Comey helped. I think she would have won without James Comey. To me, no doubt about it. But it wasn't a. But the idea that uh, I thought that there was, I thought there was, we live. Here's what I learned, Billy, which is a very good lesson. I grew up during the Vietnam War, so I had the last draft card, 1974, the last draft card.
Wow.
I would not have gone to that war. Nobody I knew, of course, if you were poor and had to go, what a horrible situation. But I thought this country was going to change. I really did think that we got Nixon out of office, and that was just naive.
Yeah.
So I've had to put aside I thought my life would be better than people's lives before me. It's just not true. You know, where there is as many it used to bother me until I had to say to myself, "Stop it, Andy," because I keep saying, "How could they one vote?" But they used to say
Right.
that about Nixon too. How could there be one vote? And so I have to just get over it and realize that. And also, I do place some credibility in the idea that almost every incumbent person lost in 24
That's true. I forgot about
around the
that.
world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
But I do think there's going to be a blue wave. But what if I'm wrong again? I know. I think we're going to take over. But there shouldn't be one. We should have taken over the House.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I'm seeing cracks that I had seen in the end of 2024, like towards the general election. I saw cracks with how the Harris Walz campaign were gravitating towards like everybody as far as like
Yes.
endorsements from Dick
Lynn
Cheney and
Cheney.
yeah, and then having various Republicans just standing on a stage during a rally like barnyard style. Like
Right.
it felt like the optics were really off with that campaign, and it wasn't really. It felt too glitzy and glossy. With the midterms for us, I mean when I see the people who are running now and like the Janet Mills and the Graham Plattners and how just the slander that has occurred with as soon as Janet Mills gets into the race, suddenly Graham Plattner's this huge Nazi, quote unquote, because he just got a tattoo. Just like seeing like
Well,
the push for
it's not
older,
good.
yeah, incumbent or older like dynasty sort of candidates. It feels like the money is on that side, and I think the money is what puts ads in front of people who aren't on social media or people who aren't, really like politically conscious. Um, so I kind of worry that Democrats are going to be pushing some dynasty
I hope
people
not.
who
I
will be
hope not.
rejected by the general population. I hope not too. I mean, uh, I don't know. I'm just saying like there there feels like there is a push to the middle right now by the higher ups in the Democratic Party. And the middle is what got us Trump back into office. I mean, we got the middle in 2020 with Biden, and then look what happens. We got Trump immediately after, even after he like staged a coup attempt on our
Yeah.
capital. Uh,
I think that Biden was a very, I mean, he was in government forever, and I think he mostly had his heart in the right place. But the other thing about Biden that I think we'll never be able to get over was it happened. It happened in the weirdest way that it happened. And
right.
I think, yes, I'm angry at him. Yes, I'm angry he didn't drop out. But when has this happened before that in the middle of a campaign, So I want to kind of, I don't have to put that behind me, but I kind of want to see that as we're going forward, that here's the bottom line for me. You can't be running anti-trans anywhere. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear one thing about sports or
Yeah.
anything.
People don't
So
care. People didn't care about that shit. They didn't even know that shit existed in 2023. And then 2024 rolls around and they're seeing it everywhere on TV. Suddenly, the people on The
yes.
Voice, have a concern with that
So
shit.
like who's the kind of Democrat that I'm worried about is like a guy like Jim Himes,
Yeah.
who could say he could say or other ones too, even that Jason Crowley, who I like, he's an ex Marine, but when they start saying, well, I'm a little uncomfortable with trans people because they always come up with the trans person in sports. And I say,
Right.
no, it's over. That has to be over now. We
Right.
have to be not so on those issues. And I think this is a turning point about Israel. I hope to God it is.
Yeah.
Um,
That administration has got to be removed from. I mean, even the Israelis want the Netanyahu administration. Did you watch that John Oliver piece he did on
oh no.
Netanyahu? Oh, you got to. It was a couple months ago, and he just really goes into like, Netanyahu was on the edge of being, jailed for corruption. And then suddenly
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
these far right figures came to his rescue, and now they're a part of his like cabinet, and they're the ones pushing him into. I mean, I'm not saying he's an angel here, but he is, he's definitely being motivated by some shitty people in his cabinet, his administration, and that whole administration has got to get out of there, man. They're just
I
killing
I'm a Jewish Voice for Peace, everybody. It's a good
peace,
organization.
peace.
And but all the stuff's coming out that for years and years and years. See, I told somebody this like when I grew up, I was a Reformed Jew, right? So this is what they told us in Temple. The propaganda started early. So the first one was like, kids, you may have heard that we had something to do with the death of Jesus, but it was on Passover. We would have been in temple. Does that not sound plausible to you people? And also, you may have heard about Israel that there were problems. Israel, no one, no one lived there when we were given it as a state, and
No
the
one,
people who did live there were like they liked to move around a lot. So I had that propaganda from the time I was a little kid, and I knew it was bullshit. And
right?
I even remember playing a Republican. playing Jewish television. You probably never heard of Jewish television. It was around in the 90s. It may still be around. So I
Okay.
played a Jewish television fundraiser, and I was just doing jokes like, yeah, so I don't have a problem with Condoleezza Rice. I don't have a problem with Conda Nazi Reich. And
Hmm.
they, Jews after it, were outraged. So there's
Yeah.
always been these APAC right wing Zionist people. And the saddest part about it is the anti Semitism is getting worse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just a terrible thing. But that doesn't mean that we, because I've heard some people say things like they trying to distinguish between Palestinians and Jews, in terms of
Who's
what
more
they've done. And that
right?
is, to me, that's like denying people's. Do you really think that that the vast majority of Palestinians are just suffering forever and ever and ever?
Right.
You
And
know,
the Israeli people are being brought into this war essentially, while this bloodthirsty group of people are just trying to evaporate people and take their land essentially. They just want that piece of property. The Netanyahu administration, they just want that. I mean, when Trump talks about like turning it into a fucking vacation spot, I
oh
believe him.
God, I do believe him.
Yeah.
Well,
S-
he's too stupid. I call Trump willfully stupid. He's a
Willfully.
psychopath. He's a sadistic. He's a sadistic
Yeah.
psychopath, which is the
Yeah.
worst kind.
He's it's at the end, and I think the Republican Party realized that, and they're going to throw him under the bus soon and try to find a successor. I think within next year they're going to have somebody like out there, and they're going to put him on the background. He still motivates people, but I mean, we're supposed to see the Epstein files this Friday, the
Right.
19th. They're supposed to be released, and I think I mean, that's going to crack the shit out of MAGA because MAGA's pro children, and this dude is
Yeah.
trying to
With the
hide the abuse.
Pizzagate and the
Yeah.
Pizzagate, you know,
Absolutely.
sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you can give MAGA something, anything, it's that they have a loyalty to protect towards protecting children. It's not, we're realizing they're
It's
not,
screwed up, but
yeah, they're separating themselves from Trump. They're gonna exist without Trump. Trump thinks that he can manipulate these people. Um, it's gonna next year is gonna be a wild ride for Trump, and I don't think it's gonna turn out well for him. We just gotta not we gotta not believe the JD Vance sort of I'm a part of the working class. I'm gonna go
I
through.
I hated that guy before. It's like I always say, I hated Louis C.K. before I probably had a reason to. I hated this guy, J.D. Vance, when wrote he wrote the only reason why he was a bestseller was he put the word elegy
Right.
after hillbilly.
Yeah.
So people went, oh, this guy is doing some deep dive into, and then I don't blame Glenn Close. I do blame Ron, what's his name? Ron Opie,
Oh
Ron
yeah,
Howard.
Ron Howard. Yeah, he made
Why
the
do they have
movie.
to make that movie? It doesn't take long to look into someone's story. And
Right.
I was slamming him while everybody was going, what a wonderful, beautiful way of, and then he lies about, he's not that he's more frightening than Trump, but he's close.
He doesn't have the charisma of Trump. I'm not saying Trump is
I
charismatic,
know
but
what you
to
mean. I
you know
know
what I
what you
mean.
mean.
To most people,
Right.
Vance has got this wooden sort of thing, and I don't think he's going to be as big as he thinks he is with the party.
Yeah, but
Okay,
if he may have to serve out a term or see, I keep thinking Trump's going to be impeached, but that didn't happen last time. So
no, no. I mean, I think that's what the Republicans all these retiring House Republicans are going to try to do for 2026 early before the midterms is give Democrats the majority so they can impeach him. But I don't think the Democrats will take the bait because
and
impeachment.
Massey, who would ever think you'd agree with Massey
I
about it?
know, man. That guy's
TM.
TM. So we have 3 minutes. Can I say
Yes,
thank you for this? Can we do it again sometime?
absolutely. I'm
This is
I'm
wonderful.
available to you.
Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
I will tear down heaven and earth as long as it doesn't involve me leaving the apartment.
Well, I mean, that is where heaven and earth exists, right? Within. It's all within our homes, right? Right?
Have you spoken to our friends? My niece.
I got a Christmas card today from them. I got to send them a little text. I think we sent them one as well. Have
Cool.
you? Have you talked to
Yeah, I
Emily?
have, but not as much because I don't travel anymore. Really because I just don't, uh, I don't want to. And,
Yes.
I was nervous when Reagan, I've been nervous since Reagan fired the air traffic controllers.
Oh my
That's how
gosh.
long I've been dealing with this issue.
I
But I
mean,
miss them though. I'll see 'em maybe in next summer.
you'll miss those guys. You miss those guys. I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
say you're missing the air traffic controllers, because I'm missing them as well. What we should do? We should both text Emily at the same time today in like an hour
Okay.
and just say like something random, and I'll say
Okay.
something
Okay.
like
Hope you.
Barry Weiss.
Yes. Oh, yes. May Barry is it a negative thing about Barry Weiss or?
We
Of
should
course.
say, I hate Barry Weiss. We'll both say
Okay.
that.
Let's do that in 1 hour.
Okay. It's I have 2:36, you have 12:36, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
Six.
1:36.
1:36 my time. You know what you're where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
hate Barry
I hope
Weiss.
I hate Barry Weiss, and I hope she gets it. Otherwise, I'm going to lose because she could be a big Barry Weiss fan.
She's funding Barry Weiss's latest Charlie Kirk wife town hall. It's all Emily's producing the whole
Emily is
thing.
deep in it. She's deep in it, and
Yeah.
Bobby. Don't trust Bobby
I don't trust Bobby.
because he takes he. I saw him with Jared Kushner last week.
Yes, he's too sweet, too nice, and too Kushner pro.
What's his angle?
Not exactly.
God bless you,
God
Billy. I
bless
love
you.
you.
Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah. I love you too.
Vote for Billy Nord, and you better vote for Billy Nord, or I'll be upset.
That works perfectly. Bye, Andy. I love you. I'll talk
Thanks,
to you
Billy.
soon. Bye
You
bye.
got it, brother. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Should I wait till you know you've recorded it?
Oh, let's see. Oh, I think it's recorded. It's all good.
Cool. Thanks a
Thanks,
lot,
man.
man.
Happy Hanukkah. Bye, buddy.
Take care, brother.